いやいや、一番場違いな役立たずはお前だよな。なあ、ノエル。
ソリド兄様。
What is going on, everybody? Quancredible here to bring you the review for Black Clover Chapter 281. And now this chapter, like, honestly, it felt really short to me for some reason. Like, it's 17 pages, so it isn't short. But, like, for some reason, the like, chapter itself felt like it went quick. And I'm not saying that's, like, a bad thing or anything. But, like, one of the odd things is I feel like this chapter revealed a lot about demons just in themselves, but at the same time didn't really answer any questions at all. So that's kind of funny. There are a couple things I do really want to touch on, like branching off from like the main points of the chapter. So like the very first and like one of the bigger things, honestly, probably might be the biggest, maybe. Could be what Xenon revealed to Yuno. Talking about how basically a long time ago there were two like young royals in the Spade Kingdom, and at some point, their friendship turned south or sour or whatever, and it turned into hatred, and then they ended up becoming like giant demons, and then they're eventually sealed away, and it was Yuno's family, the Grimbarals, however you want to say that name, I probably pronounced it wrong, were the ones tasked with guarding them. So it makes sense why the Zagratis family not only was trying to got rid of the royalty, to get access to the demons, but to also overthrow the country. So like all that stuff, it makes sense. But the one of the really important things here is I feel like this coincides with my Yuno theory I made a little while ago, talking about how like Yuno's parents' magic was probably something really important, and we just don't really think about it, and that they more than likely were arcane, just because like you would have to be arcane if you're tasked with guarding two giant demons. I'm just saying, like, there would have to be something innately extremely special about your magic. And also, another really important thing is, I remember talking about this with Josuke for a while, but is other kingdoms royalty and how they, like, would compare to the Clover Kingdom royalty. Because as we know, that like royals in the realm of Black Clover are stronger than other classes. Like they're stronger than peasants, commoners, and this seems to be somewhat true across the board in terms of countries. Seeing as like Yuno's a royal, and he's like seemingly much stronger than the other Spade Kingdom, like seemingly stronger than the average Spade Kingdom citizen. The royals in the Clover Kingdom that we've had the most experience with, obviously they're more stronger. Laurel Pechka being royalty in the Heart Kingdom, way stronger than everybody else. We haven't seen the Diamond Kingdom, but basically where I'm going with this is that if we look at the only other giant demon that we've seen, and that would be Lich. As we know, Lich had a ton of mana. Like Lich was stupid strong. And basically him pouring in all of that negative mana, in addition to just how powerful he was, and the Forbidden Stones, is what allowed him to transform into that giant demon. And what we know from what Xenon told us, those two royals were just able to like just eventually get to that point on their own, meaning that the Spade Kingdom royals may have been just innately really, really powerful. But another thing we get from Xenon telling us this is that these two giant demons weren't from either of the gates. That's essentially like they were already out here. So me and myself last week, I thought that the second demon dropping down on the Clover Kingdom came from the first gate, but apparently they were just already out here. So that makes a lot more sense. If these things just existed before the gates of the underworld started to open, so that means there's more than likely no demons in the Heart and no demons in the Diamond. Xenon probably just used his spatial magic to put the other one really close to the Clover Kingdom. That's more than likely what he did. So we got a lot of clarification on that. Merliona also reveals to us that these giant demons intake magic with their wings, and that's how they get more powerful, which is kind of interesting. But we do get to see basically how the Clover Kingdom, actually this whole chapter is just how the Clover Kingdom is dealing with this giant demon's attack. And it's really crazy here because like I was definitely hoping that the Clover Kingdom would put on a good showing, and it's like some parts were impressive to me, but other parts look so bad. And it's like Kaiser, the first person we see, he's the only captain left here. I don't really count Gildrake because he doesn't still have his status, but the only captain left here, the ultimate shield, tasked with protecting the Clover Kingdom. And him with the combined help of his purple orcas were able to blow it back a little bit, but like that's all they were able to do was just blow it back a little bit. I'm just like, I kind of wanted just a little more from Kaiser. Just a little more from Kaiser. So I mean, Kaiser down bad on this one. I mean, you know, impressive that he was able to blow it back, but it takes away from the feat that he had his like squad with him helping him. That's the only thing, is like he didn't do that solo. So that like kind of sucks. It was dope that we got to see a bunch of characters that we haven't seen. We got to see like some random dudes from the Crimson Lions. We got to see N, which was kind of dope, as well as Soul and Puli. Haven't seen those guys in a long time, so you know, that was kind of cool. But for the most part, they really didn't do anything except for evacuate some citizens. But what we did get was the royals of the Clover Kingdom really stepping in and taking charges. I was like impressed about. Like you got Kirsch and Nebra coming in with some kind of like combination missed cherry blossom attack. I thought this was really cool, but in like hindsight, like in the spoilers, I was like, man, okay, yeah, we got Kirsch and Nebra together, tag team, and then I looked at it and I was like, wait a second, this attack really didn't do anything. Like I think it was meant to disorientate the demon so it couldn't make a good shot, but it still targeted the Clover, like the royal castle perfectly. So it was like, they kind of didn't do anything. I mean, it was cool to see him though. But as for the MVP royal of this chapter, we have the new head of the Silva family, Solid.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Like, and I know y'all is probably thinking like this man is crazy right now, but no, like Solid is looking really nice right now. Like Solid is looking really nice right now. Like the demon shot like a blast from his hand, and Solid Snake, the one that Noel no-diffed like 6 months ago, is able to deflect the demon blast. I'm just like,
I just don't know what to say about this. Look, man, I just don't know what to say. Scott?
Yep.
It is rare that I am relatively speechless. That moment has officially arrived. I don't know what to say.
They really had Solid do all of that though. Like they really had Solid that clean, and Solid's mad. He's like, oh man, after 6 months, all I was able to do was deflect it. I'm just like, bro, like that is crazy for Solid. Solid kind of reminds me of Frieza from the movie, like the Resurrection of Frieza movie. When Frieza basically had never trained a day in his life, but was already just really strong, and he trained for like a couple months and was able to get like his golden Frieza form that's like stronger than Super Saiyan Blue at the time. And I'm just like, you never trained? And that's like, it's the same thing for Solid. Like he just literally only trained for 6 months and got like able to like deflect a demon blast level. Like he claps so many people. Like I don't like it's one of the things where like the only reason I would assume that like Nozel could probably block one of these is because I'm just assuming he'd be stronger than Solid because he's older than that. That would be it. Like if I'm going off of just what I see right now, Solid is looking like the most impressive Silva to me right now. Like, and it just sounds so crazy to say right now. Solid deflecting demon blast. I need to know in the chat, was anybody else like surprised by that, or was it just me? Because like I literally couldn't even believe it. Like I need to know down below it in the comments who else was surprised by that. But no, yeah. After that, you know, the demon is essentially fine. Like Kaiser's thing didn't really do anything. Not Solid didn't actually attack him or anything. So they would like blow through all of that. And this is kind of when we got a bit of a shocker to some people. I mean, it wasn't too surprising to me that Demonato would actually show up here. Just because I mean, granted, he isn't a knight, so I understand why he wouldn't be here. But at the same time, if the Clover Kingdom is destroyed, his position and his status kind of don't mean anything. So it's kind of in his best interest to at least help. You know, like at the very least help. So him and Julius somehow like have this plan to work together, and somehow Julius and Demonato were able to age Julius's body 10 years. So this is like early 20s Julius right here. As you can see, his grimoire is significantly smaller than when we first seen it when he was fighting against Patra. And like Julius is able to, granted this is after Demonato like had like scaled it down, but he's also able to like, you know, completely nullify it. But it was really sucky though, because it was extremely short-lived. Like Julius literally stopped that halved attack and like went to do something to the demon and just ran out of time immediately. And it was really like, it was kind of lame. Like, because I mean, granted, like last review I was asking for, you know, final page Julius to come in and do something cool, but like he just made an appearance and didn't do anything. It was kind of odd that he just ran out of time that quickly. I kind of wish we would have got some bit of an explanation between what him and Demonato did. Like, I'm not for sure how scale magic and time magic could possibly work together. Honestly, if I had to predict or make an assumption on what they did, the only thing I could possibly assume is that maybe with his scale abilities, he's able to like, you know, scale upwards as well, like just boost people. So he may possibly was able to boost Julius's time magic enough to where Julius was able to age himself as well as fight. Like, and even that's kind of a reach for me. So kind of sucks we didn't get an explanation there, but you know, it is what it is on that one. So basically, you know, after Julius, you know, isn't able to do anything because he ran out of time. It's really interesting because we get to see basically the entire kingdom is seeing this like live. Like the entire kingdom is seeing Julius turn into a child, and like no one knew. Granted, I don't know how they were able to keep this a secret for 6 months. I mean, that part's kind of annoying to me. But at least now, at the very least, at the end of this like arc, or a new Wizard King is going to be mandatory. Like, provided the Clover Kingdom is still standing, new Wizard King is going to be mandatory now. But anyway, we get like this cool narrator moment where they're like, it kind of flashes back to the very beginning of Black Clover, where they're like in this world, like magic is everything, as the demon is like charging up this huge blast. And this is when we get Asta just out of nowhere shoving his sword into the actual blast, and the chapter ends with, you know, him asking or him like saying to Libe like Devil Union. So we are going to get Devil Union Asta here, and that is the chapter. Now, first things first that I gotta say, granted, I am really happy that we got 17 pages, but this chapter it looks like it isn't finished, obviously, as anybody can tell. I want to say the last time this happened was during the Leona and Raya fight, like way back then. It does get fixed in the volumes, and I know they do update it on the app once it gets like actually finished. So the only thing that this could possibly tell me is that Tabata, he may be like trying to rush through to get to points he wants to get to, because that's kind of what I felt like what happened, because I was reading it weekly back then. Like, I obviously wasn't doing like the YouTube thing, but I was reading it weekly back then, and it seemed like he was really trying to get 2 points that he wanted to get to, when he was kind of rushing through and not necessarily finishing everything. Plus there's deadlines. I get it, it's a really hard job, so I'm not, you know, trying to harp on him, but you know, I am gonna have to take off points for that, just in my review, because it's only fair. Anyway, the chapter did have things I liked, like you know, talking about, you know, some of the past like demon things, with like how they transformed into demons, and also with the Spade Kingdom royalty possibly being just innately much stronger than the Clover Kingdom royalty, just because they were able to turn into demons without, like, from Xenon's story, it looked like they turned into demons unassisted, just with like having massive amounts of negative emotions, which is kind of interesting to me. We also did get the new head of the Silva family, Solid. You know, welcome to being top 10 strongest in Black Clover. It's like, I would like to assume Noelle and I would like to assume Noelle and Nozel could do something similar, but man, that kind of takes a lot for me to do. But on to the really important things with Asta and Libe doing their Devil Union at the end of the chapter, and we get to see it next week. I'm really in the middle about this, because like it definitely is looking like they're just gonna have Asta clap this demon in front of everybody, and I just feel really weird with Asta clapping it and then flying to the Spade Kingdom. I mean, maybe I guess someone could potentially have like some type of spatial magic and just get him there really fast so he doesn't have to burn energy. And then I guess another thing with Asta that I constantly forget about is that, you know, people who can heal in the Clover Kingdom, like healing magic in Black Clover typically just restores like your physical, you know, injuries and your stamina, which is all Asta has. So technically Asta could get into an extreme high diff fight and barely win and just get healed up and get sent on his way. So it's like, you know, it's not too crazy. He doesn't have to regain magic like anyone else. So like a faster recovery is kind of normal for him in Black Clover, if I really think about it. As for what I think his Devil Union is going to be, I mean, I really have no idea what it could be. I know lots of people are doing the whole armor thing with like the demon armor or like some type of that, which would be cool. I would be really down for that. Then there's also a possibility that it could be like that like it could be sword based, because like we see that he's doing it with his Demon Slayer sword, but when he was practicing or training with it, he was training with his katana. So I know lots of people have been speculating that he might have different forms based off of his swords, like how Noct has different forms based off of his devil. So I mean, that's something to think about too. I'm just really excited for next chapter. I really do hope Tabata doesn't do this thing where he like says this, you know, ends it with Devil Union and then just goes somewhere completely different. Like if next chapter, if we don't see his Devil Union, if we go to the Heart Kingdom, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be so mad. That chapter is gonna not get over a 6 just for that. I promise you. It is. Quote me on this one. If we don't see his union and we jump to the Heart Kingdom group, it's getting a 5. But yeah, all in all, there's a lot of good things from this chapter. Honestly, it wasn't too bad. I don't have anything crazy to say about it. I give it like 6. it was all right. Yeah, but let me know how you guys feel about the chapter down below. Let me know how you feel about like the Spade Kingdom royalty and how strong they might have been. Them turning into demons. I need to know how you guys feel about, you know, Solid, you know, officially becoming the new captain. How you feel about Solid becoming this powerful? Maybe it's just me who's this blown away by it, but I mean, hey, I'm just curious to know what everybody else thinks. And I want to know how you guys feel about Julius, because the stuff with Julius was really disappointing to me, honestly. Like, it doesn't affect my rating because that's like really personal, but like it was just, man, I feel like Julius is kind of wasted. Like, I feel like he's just a wasted character at this point. Or I like, maybe not wasted character, but I feel like a lot with Julius was wasted in this moment. Like, he could at least did something before. Like, he literally got to do absolutely nothing, so it was kind of disappointing. So outside of that, make sure you guys like the video as well as subscribe to the channel for more Black Clover content. You guys, you know, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all in my next video.